And good afternoon, my viewer. I hope anyone watching on holiday at home or from wherever you're joining us, welcome to Science TV at 1 p.m. News. I am your host, Videlis Njoki, and this is my sign name. And my voice interpreter is Kendi. I hope that you're ready to join us on the 1 p.m. News. Here at Science TV, we inform you the news making headlines. On to first news update, President William Samoei Ruto on Wednesday lashed out at his critics, accusing them of lacking ideas and failing to provide meaningful solution for the country. He urged Kenyans to ignore leaders he described as divisive and unproductive. Speaking on the second day of his tour at the coastal region, the head of state expressed disappointment that some political figures were attempting to derail the government's development agenda by promoting division instead of unity. While in Mombasa, President William Ruto launched several development projects, including the commissioning of the commuter railway linking the Central Business District as part of his ongoing efforts to boost infrastructure and economic growth in the region.
Wafanyabiashara wa sasa itawezekana kwa wana Mombasa, wafanyabiashara, watu wa hapa pamoja na watalii waweze kufika kwa terminus ya SGR na wafike hapa Mombasa mainland bila ya kuangaishwa na mambo ya traffic. Tumekubaliana ya kwamba siasa ya ukabila na chuki na migawanyiko haina nafasi tena katika serikali na katika taifa letu la Kenya.
Umesaidia taifa la Kenya kuondoa siasa mbovu ya ukabila, utengano.
This country has no time for people without an agenda, without a program, without what destiny we want for our nation. We want leaders. We must compete on ideas. We must compete on a vision. We must compete on transforming the nation. Hii daraja imekwama siku nyingi. Niliwaambia munipatie nafasi kidogo nirekebishe uchumi. Sasa uchumi nimerekebisha. Sasa mambo iko sawa.
And as you have seen the president's statements urging all of us to stop pulling each other down and calm the concerns which are rising from our country. So I hope that the development projects and the development agenda that was stated before is something that is going to be happening to reduce the divisive government that we see around us. But on other news update, we have the High Court dismissed a fresh attempt by former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu to have his 12-year prison sentence reviewed. The Justice Lucy Njuguna rejected the application on Wednesday, September 7th, 2025, noting that the Director of Public Prosecutions had successfully opposed the plea. Waititu was convicted on February 2025 for conflict of interest in a 588 million shilling graft case and handed a sentence of either 53.5 million shillings fine or 12 years in prison. He was also barred from holding political office for the next 7 years. Despite dismissing his plea, the court allowed Waititu to amend his petition by introducing new evidence and grounds in support of his case as the appeal continues. This follows an earlier decision by Justice Njuguna on 31st July 2025, granting him 53 million shillings bond pending the hearing of his appeal after 2 previous bond applications had been denied. Waititu's wife, Susan Njuguna, was sentenced to 1 year in prison or 500,000 shilling fine, while their co-accused testimony enterprise director Charles Chege received 9 years in jail or a 295 million fine. Another director, Beth Wangeshi, was sentenced to 1 year or a fine of 1 million, and the case will be mentioned again on October 1st, 2025. As you are seeing, the case seems to have brought a lot of clarity. The government has made sure arrests are being made or bans are getting to be applied. The plea deal is getting rejected, but let's wait for the final verdict, which is going to be decided on October 1st, and we can see if they are guilty and arrested or imprisoned, or they're going to serve different sentences, because this case is still ongoing. But on other news update, lecturers in public universities have downed their tools, paralyzing learning nationwide. The strike led by Universities Academic Staff Union, UASU, alongside other unions, stem from the government's failure to fully implement collective bargaining agreement. The Dons are demanding payment of 8.8 billion shillings in arrears from 2017 to 2021 CBA that amounts to 273 billion shillings from the 2021-2025 deal. They have rejected Treasury release of 2.5 billion shillings, insisting the money has not reached them and does not cover the pending obligations. The industrial action has left thousands of students stranded as lecturers remain suspended in 41 public universities, and education officials are calling for dialogue, but lecturers say classes will only resume once their demands are met.
We need our CBA arrears paid in total. For those two CBAs, 7.9 billion for the 2017-2021 CBA. 2.73 billion for the 2021-2025 CBA. If that money is not paid, hawa wafanyikazi hawarudi wapi? Hawarudi.
2025-2029 CBA is to cater for quality education in public universities. Yes. There is exponential growth in student population in public universities. Yes. Especially in Maseno. But the recruitment of lecturers is not commensurate with the exponential growth of students in public universities. Yes. Tell them. Therefore, students are being taught by part-timers. These part-timers hold marks because universities don't pay them. Yes. And this makes students fail to graduate.
Have you seen any money?
No.
Have you seen any money?
No.
There is no money which has arrived here. So no one should start waving for us letters. No one eats any letter. We only eat what?
Sisi kama wafanyikazi wa vyuo vikuu tuko na shida mingi. Wenzangu hapa wanalia hawajawahi pata promotion for quite some time, for more than 10 years.
It is very clear that the universities are having more than 40 public universities closed. It shows that this is a very serious issue, and they are demanding that the government can fulfill their end of the bargain. We hope that is going to be happening, and the pending bills that are making students stranded are going to be solved and sorted. And now that the country is actually having crisis with a lecturer strike, we hope that the agreement is going to be done, and after the agreement, the solution is going to be found. But allow us to move on to other news update, where an ongoing audit by the Ministry of Education has revealed that more than 50,000 ghost students in secondary schools across the country. The discrepancies emerge after verification teams compared official records on the National Education Management Information System with school registers and physical headcount. The revelation points to massive financial losses, with billions of shillings in capitation funds allegedly paid to non-existent learners and even phantom schools. A separate audit showed that between 2020 and 2024, the government lost at least 3.7 billion shillings, while 14 non-existent institutions irregularly received 16.6 billion shillings. Officials say that a verification exercise, which is only halfway complete, will extend to primary and junior secondary schools amidst fear that inflated enrollment figures may be widespread. The ministry has pledged to tighten monitoring system and recover lost fund as pressure mounts to hold accountable those behind the scandal.
Found that more than 50,000 students so far were not there before. So about 50,000 so far, and we're in the middle of the process, almost 50,000. So you can be sure we shall unearth many other things. For junior and primary, we are seeing a little bit of a different trend, but it's not yet clear in primary and junior. But for secondary, it's very clear that the numbers are a little bit higher than what was expected. By the end of the exercise, which we expect to come to the end this week, we shall be having very clean data of how many students we have in our secondary schools, how many students do we have in our primary schools, how many students we have in our junior schools, what are their account numbers, what are their, which schools have what kind of enrollments.
Now, as you can see clearly that the money which is being paid to different institutions, and they happen to be thick and not supporting any students, it's becoming concerning. But for how long has this been happening? I hope the government is going to take action, arrest the people who are implicated in this, and make sure we have quality education which is benefiting our children and not heading backwards. And I hope that soon we are going to be having a solution. Thank you, my viewer, for joining us here at Science TV News. Don't forget, we are taking a short break and we are back with the sports news with none other than Ben Werangai. Enjoy your lunch.